it's one of those where he's such a good teammate that you're definitely gonna miss him. You're definitely gonna miss him. He's a great competitor. I learned a lot from him. He was a teacher here. He taught a lot of guys a lot of stuff. And then after that is he's focused on the game. It's something that you don't want to happen, but you just gotta. We knew we had a game, so we had to focus on it.
Do you think you guys were able to focus to the full extent today, or do you think that news and I don't know if worry is the right word, but the curiosity about what's to come, do you think that affected you guys tonight?
No excuse. Today we went out there and we tried to play as hard as we could and try to win a ball game. With that being said, there was a lot of conversations in the clubhouse, but that's not the reason why we lost today. We, as professional baseball players, we need to have the ability to separate business, the game, relationships. We need to have different arenas, so we can't just stay in the past.
Francisco, you're someone that has a long-term commitment with this organization. Mm-hmm. Do you think about anything on what the future might hold now with the movement that's been made in the last week?
Yeah. At first, I didn't quite understand what was happening. However, I did have the conversation with Billy, and he clarified. I mean, from Robertson, we got 2 top prospects that could be, could be up. I don't want to say when they're going to be up, but they could be up sooner rather than later. And for Max, even though the trade has not been done yet, it's not fully approved. The guy that's been talked about, it's a really good player. It's in AA, and once again, he could be up here sooner rather than later. The I don't call it a rebuild. I call it a transition that we are, I'm here for a long term. I'm here to try to win championships, but also to have an amazing organization, be part of an amazing organization. So it's one of those where, you want to win, and you want to win now, but you also need to have stability. And from my understanding, that's what I'm seeing right now. That's kind of how I take it. That's the view. And with that being said, I'm very optimistic with our season still. And like I said earlier, we're professional baseball players, and we need to be able to separate different arenas. And we got to come out every single day and give our best. We have to be at our best every single day.
Francisco, do you anticipate that there will be more departures from this clubhouse?
From what I've seen, yes. From what I've seen, I mean, with the move that they just made, and it wouldn't shock me if there's more. It's disappointing that we are in this point right now in the season and we haven't performed to our level, and we have to see teammates go. However, I'm still very optimistic with what we have here, and we got to come out every single day and focus on winning day in and day out.
At what point today did you guys kind of sense something might be building, and did you get a chance to see Max during the day?
I did see Max, and we were on a rain delay, so we had a lot of time to see him and talk to him. But when trades like this happen, you usually see the player like isolated, talking with his agent or talking to someone else, maybe his wife or a family member. Max had a lot of time to himself, and then whenever I saw him, I got to say goodbye in the training room. That's where he was at the time I saw him. And, we're definitely going to miss him. I'm going to miss him. He's a great teammate.
That was during the delay in the training room?
I think it was around 6 o'clock. That's usually when I start my routine in the training room, so I think that's when it was.
What was the biggest thing you learned from Max? You said you learned a lot from Max.
The way he prepared his preparation for a game is like no other. It's he's a manager, he's a coach, he's a player, he's a GM, he's everything the day he starts. So it was fun to play behind him. It was fun to go out there and compete with him, and now it'll be fun to compete against him.
Francisco, within your conversation with Billy, did you receive any sort of assurances or reassurances in regards to the team's outlook for next year?
I did receive the fact that this is a we're trying to better the organization as well as the team. You know, so there's it's different. There's different arenas. You have the organization, so you have the minor league system, and then you have the big league team. And that's why I don't call it a rebuild. I think we still have potential to win, to go on a run this year, and then go on a run next year. You know, with that being said, it's one of those where you're just gonna have to see how it plays out in the off season, what additions we have for next year, and then let Vegas do the odds for us.
Francisco, are you someone who sits there in a moment like this and thinks to yourself, you know, how did we get here?
Yeah, 100%. How did we get here? Me not performing at the level I'm supposed to perform. That's one reason. Not clicking at the same time. Our pitching staff was amazing. Just not winning the extra 90s. You know, when they give us a first and third, I don't go first and third at the right time. There's a lot of stuff that happened in order to get to where we are today. That's why I said it's a little bit of disappointment that we are here today. However, I'm still very optimistic. I'm still in a spot where I believe in what we have, and I'm still super proud to be a New York Met. And I wear that proudly, that name in front of my chest, and I'm super proud to wear my last name in the back too. So I'm coming out here day in and day out to give my best.
When you spoke to Billy, did you get the feel it was more of a retool he was doing than a rebuild?
A retool?
Like your team is going to retool rather than rebuild? Did you get that?
Yeah,
feeling?
I get a sense that this is not a we're going backwards. We are moving forward. We continue to get better. We continue to add pieces that will help us. And with the guys that we had, they were helping us. But it got to a point where, in the business point of view, it made sense to continue to move forward elsewhere.